Oakland, California, and San Francisco, for that matter, is ground zero for the progressive movement in the United States of America. This is where they incubate the policies, the organizing tactics. This is where the leadership structure is. This is why Kamala came from here.
Mm-hmm.
This is why Open Societies and George Soros, mostly the nucleus is here. The Tides Foundation, again, nucleus is here. And one name that you'll never probably hear if you're not talking to me or some other informed people, the Chinese Progressive Association.
Okay, what's that?
They're a nonprofit headquartered in San Francisco on Geary Street. This one nonprofit. So when you're looking at funding to figure out who's funding these things, what's going on, why would the Tides Foundation give millions of dollars to Chinese Progressive Association to give it back to the Tides Foundation? Looks like money laundering. So you can't trace the money. But more importantly, the Chinese Progressive Association fiscally sponsors over 50,000 nonprofits.
Oh, wow.
Around the country. So there's a website, and I can send it to you. We don't have a little screen up here, not that kind of podcast. But I can send you the stuff afterward. You can direct people to where this research is done. And it's just rigorously academic standard. This isn't tinfoil hat stuff. This is EIN numbers being tracked with quantum data stuff. So you can track with that many. It's like the book of Genesis in the Bible. This person begat that person, begat that person, begat that person. It's like that for nonprofit.
Oh, wow.
Right? And it's so hard to follow this web, and it's all headquartered out of one place. And so these policies that they have are the same everywhere because the people who are locally elected, they're not the ones pushing these policies. They're being given to them by their funders. And now you have professional activists become legislators. And then those legislators matriculate to executive function.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have people like Karen Bass and our current mayor, Barbara Lee, from Congress. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no executive functions. These people don't know how to run a business, but yet they're in charge of major businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're in a dangerous time right now. And what I believe is happening is what's called low-intensity conflict. Some people call it fifth generation warfare. It's actually seventh generation. You could argue semantics in the intelligence community all you want.
Okay.
But without a doubt, we're in low intensity conflict, which may have changed 24 hours or so yesterday.
And what does that mean? I mean, I think it means what it says on the tin,
it's a form of war that's not kinetic.
Okay.
It's not violent. And so there's controversy in America around the Obama administration loosening laws where they were allowed to use certain propaganda tactics on American citizens that we used to use abroad. So those tactics, those things are low-intensity conflict. When Green Berets parachute into an area and they pick the winners and losers by virtue of who they give aid to, or they may even engage in some asymmetrical practices like poisoning water sources for people over here, some very dirty, illegal things. This is why so many of our special ops community eats bullets every day. God bless them. They're very guilty about the things that they've done there. I work with a lot of them doing medicine work and recovery. You don't want to hear about the things that they've done there for country. Yeah. Right? And so this type, but that's a little more aggressive. But the low intensity conflict is no violence. It's, I'm going to take over your school board to pass policies that I know harm education intentionally, like delaning and getting algebra out of school. I'm going to introduce things like ranked choice voting. You ever heard of that?
I have.
Ranked choice voting with 100% certainty will decrease the number of people who vote. But that means it's voter suppression. And the people that is suppressing their vote who make mistakes are pretty much always in low socioeconomic totem pole, typically Black and brown. How come you can't see those equity concerns, but you think that people can't get IDs? It's a lot easier for a Black person to get a freaking ID than it is for them to navigate ranked choice voting. Okay? It makes no sense. But
why does ranked choice voting cause voter suppression? Can you explain that?
Well, it's needlessly confusing for one reason, but here's the one reason. You can win without a mandate. You can win without getting 50%. I led the recall of Oakland's mayor. Why was it so easy? Because she only got like less than 30% of the vote to begin with. She never had a true majority. Another issue is ranked choice voting counts votes in secret. It uses a closed source algorithm. Think about that for a second. It's not open source. So they're basically saying, just trust us how we're going to count these votes. And you can't authenticate it. The first ranked choice voting manual recount in American history, and the only ranked choice voting manual recount in American history happened because of me.
Okay.
I filed a protest after the mayor race because the mayor won by 673 votes when 3,093 votes were disqualified due to error. That's 7 times more. And we wanted to look at those votes.
That sounds suspect. Yeah.
We couldn't get the mayor recount done, but we got a school board recount done because it was a smaller sample size. And it was overturned because they applied Berkeley's charter and not Oakland's charter. That's another issue. The city charter, in the way that it tells you to count votes, can make a different winner. How is that democracy? How is that a reflection of the voters' wishes when someone can win with less than a third of the vote and that vote could, it's just, anyway, it's a mess. It's put here to do exactly what it's doing. Progressive policies are working great if you understand what they're really meant to do.
And what are they meant to do? What's the goal?
They're meant to destroy U.S. cities.
But why would people want that? I'm trying to understand
this. We don't want that.
Yeah.
Why do they want that?
Yeah, why do they want that? I also asked this because you yourself said that you
question. They don't work for America.
Spent a lot of time being a progressive, so I assume that that was not your intention. So
good question.
Yeah. So
there's a term, useful idiot. I was one.
Okay.
With all my intelligence.
Very honest.
That's very useful. Tremendously useful.
Yeah.
I'll add. As all things, there's a saying, follow the money, which is what has led to discovering where the money was coming from. We have a globalist agenda. The trends, the open borders, all of these things that are happening in lockstep, which come from World Economic Forum and all of these other entities, it's an agenda. I call it anti-human agenda. Maybe they think that they have grand plans for the future. Remember, they tell you outright, we're going to change what's right and wrong. I forgot who made that quote at the World Economic Forum, but it was horrifying.
I don't know, but these are people who sit around talking about how the biggest problem in the world is that there's too many human beings on it and stuff like that. So I don't exactly trust them.
Yeah, demonic talk.
Yeah.
Very insidious, very evil talk. But let me just step back for a second. People here don't like capitalism. America has not been the best faith actor. A lot of people here, because of the manufactured victimhood, because it's convenient to push people that way, and also that's combined with the fact that these issues are real. We really do have cost of living issues in America. We have central banking that is operating the money printing and the inflation, that is immoral. It's immoral.
Yep.
So people do have a right to be very upset. And they have a right to want to fundamentally change the course of our country.